The alien woman walking toward me had tears in her eyes. Part 1. The red dust of Mars swirled outside the windows of Outpost Sigma. Olivia Bennett stood at her monitoring station watching the numbers on her screen. Her eyes grew heavy after 12 hours on duty. The outpost had been quiet for weeks now with the same daily tasks and reports. A sharp beep from her console jolted her awake. The proximity sensors were flashing red. An unidentified object was approaching the Mars base at high speed. Olivia pressed the comm button on her wrist alert. "We have an unknown vessel approaching from Sector 7. This is not a drill, I repeat. This is not a drill." The response was immediate as alarms blared throughout the station. The 6 other crew members rushed to their emergency positions. Olivia watched the main screen as the object grew closer. It was unlike any ship she had seen before. Shaped like a teardrop with a shimmering surface that seemed to bend the light around it, Commander Diane Miller appeared at her side, her face tight with concern. "Have they responded to Hale's negative?" Commander Olivia replied. "I have sent 15 messages on all frequencies, no response." The object continued its approach, slowing as it neared the outpost. It was smaller than their supply ships, maybe big enough for 1 or 2 passengers. The surface glimmered with colors that shifted like oil on water. "Should we activate defense protocols?" Commander Miller asked. Olivia hesitated. Her gut told her this was not a threat. But protocol was clear. Yes. Commander, standard procedure. "The defense cannons are tracking the vessel, but I suggest we wait to fire." The crew watched in tense silence as the alien craft descended to the surface about half a mile from the outpost. It made no aggressive moves as it touched down. A cloud of red dust billowed around it. "Get your suits on," Miller ordered. "We need a team out there now, Olivia. You lead, Dixon and Chen will accompany you. Armed but defensive posture only. 20 minutes later, Olivia led the small team across the Martian landscape. The red dust crunched beneath their boots. The alien ship sat silently ahead of them. Its surface had stopped shifting, and now appeared like polished metal. "Team, maintain distance of 50 feet minimum," Olivia instructed through her helmet comm. "Keep weapons ready, but not raised." As they approached the ship, a seam appeared in its side. The metallic surface rippled, and a doorway formed. No ramp extended, no lights flashed. The 3 humans stopped and waited, their breath fogging their helmets. Movement came from the shadows inside the ship. A tall figure emerged, stepping carefully onto the Martian soil. Olivia felt her heart race. The visitor stood at least 7 feet tall, with a slender frame draped in what looked like flowing silver fabric. Its face was humanoid, but with features too perfect, too symmetrical. Its skin had a faint blue tint that seemed to glow from within. But what stood out most were the ears, long and pointed like those from ancient human folklore about elves, and the eyes large, almond-shaped and a deep violet color. The alien looked directly at Olivia and began walking toward her. Dixon raised his weapon, but Olivia motioned for him to hold position. The alien was female in appearance. Her movements were graceful despite the lower gravity. As she came closer, Olivia could see something trailing behind her, something that moved independently. The alien stopped 20 feet away, and Olivia gasped. What she had thought was a part of the flowing clothes was actually a creature, a small reptilian being with wings folded against its back. The creature had scales that shifted color like the ship itself. It perched on the alien's shoulder, watching the humans with intelligent eyes. But what shocked Olivia most were the tears streaming down the alien's face, clear droplets that seemed to glow with an inner light. The alien woman raised one 6-fingered hand in what appeared to be a greeting. Olivia knew this moment would change humanity forever. First contact with an intelligent species, the first tears ever seen from a non-human entity. She lifted her own hand in response. The comm crackled in her ear. Commander Miller's voice, urgent. "Bennett, what is happening?" "Report it's a humanoid life form. Commander, female appearance with a small reptilian companion. She appears to be crying." "Crying?" Miller sounded shocked. "Are you certain?" "Yes, sir." The alien is producing tears and looking directly at me, I believe. She is trying to communicate. The alien took another step forward. The small dragon-like creature on her shoulder unfurled wings of impressive span, shimmering with colors that should not exist in the dull Martian landscape. Without warning the alien,
Woman collapsed to her knees, the tears flowing more freely now. The dragon creature leapt from her shoulder, circling above her before landing on the ground between the alien and the humans. Its wings spread in what seemed like a protective gesture. Dixon
aimed his weapon. What do we do, Lieutenant? Hold position, Olivia commanded. I think she's trying to tell us something. The alien woman looked up, meeting Olivia's eyes again. She opened her mouth and a sound emerged, not like any language Olivia had heard, more like music with layers of tones. The dragon creature turned its head toward the humans, its eyes glowing with an unnatural intelligence. The alien tried to stand, but stumbled. She reached out one hand toward Olivia. The gesture was unmistakable, a plea for help. Against all protocol. Olivia stepped forward. Dixon. No, Chen, gasped. Stay back. Something about the aliens, tears captivated Olivia. They glowed with an inner light where they fell on the red soil, leaving small craters that smoked slightly. The dragon hissed a sound that seemed impossible in the thin Martian atmosphere. The alien woman spoke again, this time a word that sounded almost like earth. Then her violet eyes rolled back and she collapsed fully onto the Martian soil. The dragon, creature keened a high sound that made Olivia's suit sensors crackle with static. It rushed to the fallen alien, nudging her with its snout. Olivia, we need to retreat, Dixon urged. This could be a trap, but Olivia could not look away from the fallen alien. The tears still flowed even in unconsciousness. And where they touched the Martian soil, plants impossibly began to sprout. Green shoots pushing through red dust where nothing had grown for billions of years. Commander, she called, this alien needs medical assistance. Request permission to bring her into the base. Absolutely not. Miller responded. The quarantine protocols. Commander, where the aliens' tears have fallen. Plants are growing. Plants on Mars. She is changing the planet with her tears. We need to understand this. A long silence followed, broken only by the dragon's continued keening. Very well, Bennett Miller finally replied. But full quarantine procedures. The alien and its companions stay in the airlock chamber until we can establish communication and determine they are not a threat. Olivia carefully approached the fallen alien. The dragon creature watched her but made no aggressive moves. As she reached down to lift the alien woman, she noticed something strange on the back of the woman's neck, a symbol that seemed to shift and change as she looked at it. Chen helped her lift the alien. She was surprisingly light despite her height. The dragon creature followed them, leaping from ground to Chen's shoulder to the alien's chest, where it curled protectively. She was certain she heard it growl words in her mind. Help her save us all. The journey back to the base was slow and careful. The alien remained unconscious, the small dragon watching the humans with intelligent eyes that missed nothing. Olivia felt a strange connection to these visitors, a feeling that their arrival was not random, that they had come specifically for her. As they approached the airlock, the dragon suddenly spread its wings and flew upward. The sun caught, its scales sending rainbow reflections across the Martian landscape. It circled once, then dove back down, landing again on the alien's chest. Olivia could not shake the feeling that something momentous had begun, something that would change the course of human history. The alien woman had crossed vast distances to find them, and her tears held secrets that might transform their understanding of life itself. The airlock doors opened, admitting the strange party into Outpost Sigma, the first non-human visitors to a human base. The first of many changes to come. Olivia looked down at the alien's face, so peaceful despite the journey she must have made. Why are you crying? Olivia whispered. Who are you? As if in response, the alien's eyes fluttered open, for a moment looking directly into Olivia's. The dragon creature turned its gaze to her as well, and in that moment Olivia felt something touch her mind, a connection forming, a bridge between species. A single word echoed in her thoughts, Lyra. Then the alien woman closed her eyes again. But the connection remained. A thin thread linking their minds across the gulf of different worlds, different species, different destinies. The beginning of something both wonderful and terrible. Something that would change everything Olivia Bennett knew. The alien woman walking toward me had tears in her eyes. Part 2. Olivia woke suddenly in her small room at Mars Outpost Sigma, her head filled with strange dreams, images of worlds with 3 suns, crystal cities floating in pink clouds, forests where trees sang with voices like bells. She sat up trying to remember where these visions came from. 3 days had passed since they brought the alien woman into the base. 3 days of tests and observations. 3 days of the small dragon refusing to leave its companion's side. 3 days of dreams that felt more real than her waking hours. Olivia dressed quickly and headed to the quarantine chamber. The rest of the crew watched her with worried looks. They had noticed the changes in her. The way she would stop mid-sentence and stare at nothing. The strange words she sometimes spoke in a language none of them knew. Commander Miller stood outside the quarantine chamber looking tired and stressed. "Any changes?" she asked as Olivia approached. "The alien is still sleeping," Olivia replied. "The dragon still watches. I think they are waiting for something." Miller frowned. "You seem very sure it's a dragon." "We have no idea what that creature really is." Olivia paused, unsure how to explain the knowledge that had come to her in dreams. The alien woman calls him Ash. He is a cosmic dragon commander, not like our myths. More like a guardian who can move between dimensions. Miller stared at her. "How could you possibly know that?" Olivia touched her temple. "I just do. I think she's been talking to me while I sleep. Her name is Lyra. She comes from a world called Silva. Her people look like our stories of elves, because they visited Earth long ago." Dr. Lin walked up holding a tablet. She had been checking. Both Olivia and the visitor's Lieutenant Bennett's brain scans show strange activity. Commander, more activity in the parts for language and space awareness. And there are energy patterns around her that match those we detected from the alien eye feel. "Fine," Olivia insisted. "I just know things about her now." "Things she wants us to know." Miller looked through the window. The alien woman, Lyra, lay on the medical bed. Her blue skin glowed softly. The small dragon Ash was curled on her chest. His scales, changing colors even in sleep. "What else do you know?" Bennett Miller asked, her voice softer now. Olivia closed her eyes, letting the information flow. She could feel Lyra at the edges of her mind, a presence both alien and friendly. She is a Sylvan. They are telepathic. They can share memories and knowledge through touch or being near each other. Her tears contain tiny particles that allow for deeper connection. They act as a bridge between minds and the dragon. Not really a dragon as we think of them, a cosmic being that can fold space, create paths between stars. Ash is the last of his kind. The others were hunted until none remained, by whom Olivia opened her eyes. The images that came were dark and scary. Huge ships that ate planets. Beings that were part machine, part flesh. A spreading darkness that swallowed light. "The void," she whispered. "That's what Lyra calls them. They eat worlds for resources. They destroyed her home. They hunt the cosmic dragons for their ability to create shields between dimensions." Miller frowned. "This sounds like a made-up story, Bennett. Are you sure these are not just dreams?" Before Olivia could answer, an alarm sounded from the medical machines inside the quarantine chamber. The alien woman Lyra sat up suddenly, to her violet eyes wide open. The dragon Ash spread his wings and made a sound like distant thunder. Olivia rushed into the chamber despite Miller's shout to stop. The connection in her mind grew brighter, stronger. Lyra turned to look at her, a smile spreading across her perfect face. "You heard me," Lyra said, her voice musical with strange tones. "You received my memories." Olivia nodded, approaching slowly. The dragon watched her, but made no threats. I saw your world. I saw what happened to it. Lyra reached out one, six-fingered hand. Olivia took it without hesitation. The touch sent a jolt through her body. Images, emotions, knowledge flooding into her mind. She gasped but did not let go. Now you understand why I came, Lyra said. Why I sought your world. Your people. Dragon Ash jumped from the bed to Olivia's shoulder. His weight surprisingly light. His scales warm against her neck. She felt his mind touch hers as well. Different from Lyra's. More ancient. More vast. Like touching the mind of a star. We need your help, Lyra continued. And you need ours. The void is coming. They have eaten 1,000 worlds. They will not stop. Dr. Lin had entered the room, standing frozen at the sight of the conscious alien. Commander Miller watched through the window, her hand hovering over the alarm button. Tell them, Lyra urged Olivia. Make them understand. Olivia turned to Dr. Lin. She can talk with her mind. The dragon, too. They are refugees. Their world was destroyed by an empire called the Void. They came here looking for friends. Lin approached carefully, scanning the alien with her medical device. The readings made her eyes widen. Her cells are unlike anything I have ever seen. It's almost like her body exists partly in another dimension. And the energy readings from both of them, they break our understanding of physics. Lyra stood from the bed, her silver clothes flowing around her tall frame. She was at least a foot taller than Olivia, her movements graceful, even in the artificial gravity of the base. I have traveled far to find you, Lyra said, speaking now so all could hear. Her voice carried strange harmonics that made the air itself seem to vibrate. My people saw your world in our visions, a blue planet with chance to stand against the darkness. But in every vision, we saw it destroyed, eaten by the void. She turned to the window, looking directly at Commander Miller. Your people are special. You adapt, you create, you imagine, you fight when others give up, you hope when others despair. The void fears what you might become. That is why they marked your world for early destruction. Miller entered the quarantine chamber, her hand still near her weapon. If what you're saying is true, why have we not seen any sign of this void? No signals, no ships. Lyra smiled sadly, tears beginning again, leaving glowing tracks down her blue cheeks. Because you should not exist. Your world should have been destroyed 3 of your years ago. In every future, my people saw your planet was consumed. But somehow you exist in a fold of reality. The void has not yet found, but they will. They always do. The dragon Ash spread his wings, casting rainbow patterns across the walls. His eyes met Olivia's, and she heard his voice in her mind, deep and ancient. The woman speaks truth. I have hidden your star system in a pocket dimension, but my power fades. I cannot maintain the shield alone. Olivia repeated his words for the others. Miller and Lin exchanged glances. You expect us to believe this? Miller said, Your tears seem to affect Lieutenant Bennett's mind, making her see things that aren't real. Lyra shook her head. My tears contain memory particles. They allow sharing of knowledge between different species. They cannot create lies, only transmit truth to show this. Lyra touched one glowing tear and held it out in her palm. The droplet floated above her hand, growing into a sphere of light. Within it, images formed. A beautiful world with crystal cities and forests of singing trees. Then darkness, huge ships blocking out the sun. Destruction, on a scale beyond understanding, billions dying in moments. This was my home, she said. This is what the void does. They are coming for all worlds. Eventually, they will find yours. The dragon Ash made a sound like distant thunder again. He jumped from Olivia's shoulder, growing larger, his wings extending until they filled half the room, his scales shifting through colors that human eyes had never seen. I have protected your world, but I am the last of my kind. Ash spoke directly to their minds now. My power alone is not enough. The woman Lyra sought you out because her people saw possible futures where you helped defeat the void, where humans and Sylvans together found a way. Miller had backed against the wall, her face pale with shock. Lynn was quickly recording readings from her devices. Olivia alone seemed calm, the connection with Lyra and Ash giving her understanding beyond fear. "What do you need from us?" Olivia asked. Lyra stepped forward, placing both hands on Olivia's shoulders. The contact strengthened their mental bond. "Your technology, combined with our telepathy, my people's ability to see possible futures with your species, creativity and adaptability, Ash's dimensional powers with your sciences. We believe together we might find a way to defeat the void. Not just hide from them." Olivia turned to Miller, who was watching with wide eyes. "Commander, we need to contact Earth. This is bigger than our mission, bigger than Mars. This concerns the survival of our entire species." Miller hesitated, then nodded slowly, her training giving way to the evidence before her eyes. "Dr. Lynn, prepare a full medical report on our visitors. Bennett, you will help Lyra prepare a detailed briefing on this void." And the dragon Ash had returned to his smaller form, now perched again on Lyra's shoulder, his eyes still glowing with ancient power. "He has a name, Commander," Olivia said. "Ash. He is the last cosmic dragon, and he has been protecting Earth without our knowledge." Lyra touched Olivia's hand again, transferring more knowledge, more memories, the bond between them growing stronger. "The void does not yet know I am here," she said. "They believe all Sylvans are gone, but they hunt for Ash. They know a cosmic dragon survived. They can sense his power. That is why I came to you now." Time grows short. Outside the quarantine chamber, the rest of the crew had gathered, watching in amazement as history unfolded before them. Humans were no longer alone in the universe, but their first contact came with a warning. A war was coming. A war for survival. Olivia felt the weight of this knowledge settle into her bones. She looked. The alien woman walking toward me had tears in her eyes. Part 3. 1 week after Lyra and Ash arrived at Mars Outpost Sigma, the base received visitors from Earth. Olivia stood tall as the shuttle docked, watching through thick windows as the airlock cycled. The link with Lyra hummed in her mind, a steady presence now. She could feel the Sylvan's worry matching her own. Commander Miller stood beside her, uniform neat and proper, but her eyes showed how tired she was. The past week had been filled with endless talks with Earth Command, reports, explanations, defenses. The inner door of the airlock opened, showing 5 people in clean white safety suits. The leader took off her helmet, showing a stern face with short gray hair. Colonel Samantha Winters, head of Earth Defense Forces Special Team. Her eyes looked around the room quickly before focusing on Commander Miller. "At ease, Commander," she said. "We have much to discuss." The second person removed her helmet. Dr. Eleanor Martinez, Chief Alien, Biology expert for the Mars program. The other 3 stayed in their suits, their face shields hiding their looks. "Where are the aliens?" Colonel Winters asked, her voice sharp in the meeting room. Colonel Commander Miller answered, "Under watch, but not tied up." "They have been helpful." Winters raised an eyebrow. "They can move freely in the base." Olivia stepped forward. "Lieutenant Olivia Bennett. Sir, I work with the visitors. They are not dangerous. Their goals are—" Winters stopped her with a wave of her hand. "I will decide that, Lieutenant, after I see them myself." She turned back to Miller. "Your reports talk about mind reading and something in the female alien's tears. That alone means they should be locked up." "The alien woman has a name," Olivia said. "Unable to stay quiet, Lyra. And the dragon is Ash. They are running from danger, seeking our help." Winters looked at Olivia with narrow eyes. "You seem to have grown close to these beings, Lieutenant. Perhaps too close. Your thinking may be clouded, I know." "Their true goals through the mind link, Sir," Olivia replied. "Without it, we would have no way to talk with them." Dr. Martinez came closer to Olivia with interest. The reports mentioned this connection. "Lieutenant, how does it feel? What do you experience before?" Olivia could answer. Commander Miller stepped in. "Maybe we should continue this talk in the meeting room. The visitors are waiting." The group walked through the halls of the base. Other crew members watched from doorways, curious about the new arrivals. Olivia could feel Lyra's presence growing stronger as they got closer. She sent calm thoughts through their mind. Link, though, her own worries remained. The meeting room doors opened, showing Lyra standing by the windows, her tall form outlined against the Mars landscape. Ash sat on her shoulder, his scales changing colors that seemed impossible. The three suited people behind Winters and Martinez stood straighter, their hands moving to hidden weapons. Lyra turned her violet eyes, finding Olivia right away. A smile touched her perfect face. The tears that had been always present since arrival had stopped now. Her look was calm, royal. "Welcome to Mars," Lyra said, her musical voice filling the room. "I have waited long to meet the leaders of Earth, Colonel." Winters showed no surprise at the alien's perfect English, a result of her mind connection with Olivia. She stepped forward, her body stiff. "I am Colonel Samantha Winters, Earth Defense Forces. I am here to check if your claims are true and why you are on Mars." Lyra bowed her head. "I understand your care, Colonel. Your world has never met beings from beyond your sun before. You must protect your people. It is what leaders do." Ash spread his wings, the colors moving across them like liquid rainbows. He made a sound that seemed like a purr. Though deeper, more vibrant, Olivia felt humor from him through their shared link. Winters pointed to Dr. Martinez, who began scanning Lyra and Ash with hand tools. The three suited figures spread out around the room, keeping distance but clearly ready for any danger. "Your lieutenant has told us your story," Colonel Winters said. "A destroyed homeworld, a space threat called the Void, a dragon that can bend space. It sounds like stories from our movies." Lyra smiled. "Sadly, I understand your doubt." My tears allowed Lieutenant Bennett to see the truth, but you have not shared that experience. Would you like to? She raised one six-fingered hand, a glowing tear forming at her fingertip. Colonel Winters stepped back. "No, biological contact. That is not allowed. The Pentagon wants full testing before any more exposure." Lyra's hand lowered the tear going back into her skin. "Very well. Then perhaps a showing of another kind." She looked to Ash, who spread his wings wider. Growing slightly in size, his eyes began to glow with inner light. The tools in Dr. Martinez's hands went crazy. Alarms, blaring readings, jumping off charts. The lights in the meeting room flickered. The gravity changed for a moment, making them all feel lighter, then heavier, then normal again. A window appeared in the air beside Ash. Not an opening, but more like a screen showing impossible things. A huge space cloud, colors no human had ever seen. Creatures moving through space without ships or suits. Stars being born and dying in moments. That is a real-time view of the Andromeda Galaxy. Lyra explained. "From this moment, not the light that left millions of years ago. Ash can create folds in space-time, windows between places. Colonel Winters, that is why the Void hunts his kind. They can create paths between worlds, between dimensions." Dr. Martinez approached the window, her science curiosity winning over caution. "These readings," she whispered, "they break our understanding of physics. This can't be a projection or fake image. It's actual space-time bending." The three suited figures had pulled weapons, now aiming them at Lyra and Ash. Commander Miller protested, but Winters silenced her with a hand motion. "Close it," Winters ordered. Ash folded his wings and the window vanished. The readings on Martinez's tools returned to normal. "Impressive, but proves nothing," Winters said. "It could be technology we don't understand, not magical powers." Lyra sighed, a sound like wind through crystal. "I did not come here to make you believe me, Colonel. I came here to warn you and seek friendship. The Void is real. They destroyed my world along with thousands of others. They hunt Ash and his kind to the last one, and they will find Earth soon. Despite the dimension, shield Ash has created." Winters studied the alien woman, her face showing nothing. "You claim Earth should have been destroyed years ago. That we exist in some kind of pocket dimension created by your dragon, not created." Lyra corrected. "Revealed Earth has always existed in multiple dimension planes, as do all worlds, but Ash can shift which dimension is strongest, making you hidden from the void. But his power alone is not enough. They have technology that can detect dimension shifts. They will find you. Livia stepped forward. Colonel, the dreams I share with Lyra, they show the void. They are a techno-organic species. They use biological parts combined with machine intelligence. They eat planets, taking all resources and using useful biological material. And why have they not found us yet? Winters asked if they are so powerful. Lyra moved to the window, looking out at the red Mars landscape. The tears, she said softly. That is why I cried when I found you still alive. Colonel Sylvan, tears contain particles that can affect reality on a tiny level. My ancestors used them to hide from the void for centuries. I have been placing the space around your solar system with my tears, creating a barrier that confuses their sensors. But it will not last, Doctor. Martinez looked up from her readings. Tiny particles that affect reality. That sounds like theoretical physics. Lyra finished for her. Yes, your scientists have ideas that come close to understanding. But my people lived this science for thousands of years before your species left your trees. Colonel Winters jumped at the reference to human evolution. You seem to know much about us. Your lieutenant shares her knowledge with me as I share mine with her. Lyra explained. It is an equal trade. Through her I have learned of your wars, your divisions, your strengths. We are not so different. Sylvans and humans. We both fight to live. One of the suited figures stepped forward, taking off his helmet, showing a young man with intense eyes. If what you're saying is true, why come to us? Why not find another advanced species, one with better technology than ours? Lyra turned to him. Because you are unique, she said simply. In all our visions of possible futures, humans showed the greatest chance for defeating the void. Your ability to adapt, your creativity, your determination. They fear these qualities. That is why you were chosen for early destruction. But we survived, Olivia said, the connection between her and Lyra growing brighter. Yes. Lyra smiled. You survived against all chance, against all the futures my people saw. Which means the future is not fixed. The void can be defeated. Colonel Winters walked around the room, her mind working through ideas, threats, possibilities. Finally, she stopped, assuming, I believe you. What exactly do you suggest the void, if they exist, sound technologically better than Earth by thousands of years? Our weapons would be useless. Lyra approached Winters, stopping when the suited guards raised their weapons again. Alone, yes. Your weapons would mean nothing. But together, combined human creativity with Sylvan seeing ashes, dimension abilities with your sciences, we might find a way Sylvans can see possible futures. Colonel, we saw one where humans and my kind together created something new. Something. The void could not stop. What is this something? Winters demanded. Lyra shook her head. I cannot say because it does not yet exist. It must be discovered together. That is how futures work. Colonel, they are possibilities. Until choices make them real. Dr. Martinez had been reviewing her readings, her excitement growing. Lieutenant Bennett. Your brain scans show increased brain activity in. The alien woman walking toward me had tears in her eyes. Part 4. 1 month passed since Lyra and Ash arrived on Mars Earth. Leaders argued about what to do. The World Council met in the big room in Geneva. People from all countries came to hear about the aliens and decide if they should believe their warning. Olivia stood in front of them wearing her space uniform. The past weeks had changed her. Her eyes now had purple spots in them like Lyra's. Her skin sometimes glowed blue when she felt strong feelings. The mind link with Lyra was stronger now. She spoke not just for herself but for both worlds. Colonel Winters sat at the big table with other military leaders. Their faces were serious as they looked at pictures of Lyra's, tears under big science tools. General Patricia Hayes, leader of Earth Defense, looked angry. These things in the tears are not like anything we know. General Hayes said, they change when different people look at them, almost like they know who is watching. Dr. Kate, Morgan stepped forward. She was a smart science woman who had been studying the space windows Ash could make. She had red hair and green eyes and had not slept much lately. That is what makes them so special. General, she said, they exist in many places at the same time. The tiers change based on who looks at them. It's why Lieutenant Bennett made such a strong mind link. Her brain was open to new ideas. The people in the room talked to each other. Some did not believe. Some were scared. All found it hard to understand what it meant. Olivia could feel Lyra at the edge of the room. The alien woman had to stay away from the main meeting for safety. Ash was with her, both watched by guards but treated like friends, not prisoners. The dragon had grown, bigger now. His wings were 20 feet wide when open. His power to make space windows had helped Earth scientists see faraway places, madam. President Olivia said to the woman in charge, I know this is hard to believe, but all the proof shows Lyra is telling truth. The void is real. They have destroyed thousands of worlds. They will find Earth. The only question is when. President Maria Alvarez leaned closer, looking at Olivia carefully. Lieutenant Bennett, the changes to your body worry us. Are you still human? Or has this mind link with the alien changed you too much? Olivia knew people would ask this. She could feel Lyra helping her stay calm. I am still human, Madam President. But I am more too. The tears have made some parts of me better. I can see light colors normal people cannot. I can feel what others feel even without touching minds. My body is stronger. But I still love Earth. I still want to protect humans. General Hayes hit the table with her hand. That is why I worry, Lieutenant. You say you love humans while your body is changing to be more alien. We only have the alien's word that this void exists, that these changes help us not hurt us. Olivia stayed calm despite the anger. The changes do not harm us. General, they help us. Others who touched Lyra's tears are changing too. Dr. Martinez, Commander Miller. They still think and feel like before. They are still human. Dr. Morgan spoke up. My team has been watching these changes. General, they seem to be good changes. Better brain connections. Better body healing. Better fighting against sickness. No signs of any harm. The Chinese leader stood. We have looked at the pictures from the space windows made by the Dragon Ash. The star pictures show things our best tools could not see, things moving at impossible speed, eating stars. These match what the alien woman told us about. The Void President Alvarez raised her hand for quiet. The room became silent. We have two choices, she said. Either these visitors tell truth and Earth faces the biggest danger ever, or this is the biggest trick ever played against humans. The choice could not be more important. Olivia walked closer to the leaders' table. She could feel fear, doubt, worry from many, but also hope, wonder, excitement from others. Madam President, honored leaders, I understand your worries, but think about this. If Lyra wanted to harm Earth, why warn us? Why share knowledge that could help us fight? The mind link works both ways. She has given us Sylvan science understanding, beyond what we have now. And what has she gotten from us? General Hayes asked. A chance to live? Olivia said simply. Her world is gone, her people scattered. The void hunts the few Sylvans left across space. Earth is not just a target, but the last real hope to fight back. The Russian leader stood. I have a question, Lieutenant. If this void is so strong, how have they not found us yet? The Dragon Ash makes space shields. Yes, but you said his power alone is not enough. Olivia nodded. A good question, sir. The answer is in Lyra's tears. They have tiny parts that exist in many places at once. They confuse void tools by showing many different realities at the same time. But this protection will not last. The void has tools that can eventually cut through. The space hiding. They will find us. It is only a matter of time. The room doors opened and Dr. Martinez ran in, her face white with worry. She whispered something to Colonel Winters, whose face turned dark. Colonel Winters stood. Madam President, we have new information. Our far space watching station has found strange energy at the edge of our sun area. Many objects moving at high speed coming toward us. They match what Lyra told us about void scout ships. The room exploded with noise. People, shouting questions, demands, accusations. President Alvarez called many times for order. The guards moved to protect the leaders. Olivia closed her eyes, reaching through her bond with Lyra. She felt the alien woman confirm her fears. They are early, Lyra whispered through their link. They must have felt Ash when he made the big space windows. I'm sorry. Olivia opened her eyes, meeting Colonel Winters. Look, they are coming, she confirmed. The void scout ships are real. This is not a trick. This is first, meeting with an enemy that has destroyed thousands of worlds. President Alvarez stood making the room quiet with her power. How long, she asked Colonel Winters. Winters looked at the info pad Dr. Martinez had brought. The scout ships will reach Mars. In about 3 days, Madam President. If they follow the patterns Lyra described, they will send small ships to Earth shortly after. They are looking to confirm this is a living world worth taking, and if they find such proof, General Hayes asked. Then, the main fleet arrives, Olivia answered. The harvest ships, the world killers. The Japanese leader spoke, her voice calm, despite the scary news. What can we do? Lieutenant? What defense do we have? Olivia stood straighter, fixing her uniform, staying calm. Despite the heavy news, Lyra and Ash have been working with our scientists to make countermeasures. The space shields can be made stronger through a network of flying machines carrying made copies of Lyra's tears. Dr. Morgan has built a test model. Doctor, Morgan nodded. The shield network is ready. Madam President, 18 satellites carrying quantum sound makers. We can have them in space within 2 days. They won't make Earth invisible, but they will confuse void scanners, make us look like an empty. World President Alvarez looked to her military advisors. Is this our best choice? General Hayes frowned. I would prefer attack power, Madam President. Something that can actually fight these void ships. The doors opened again, and a tall figure entered. With guards, Lyra, her silver clothes flowing around her, Ash sat on her shoulder. Their presence made the room quiet. Many leaders were seeing the aliens in person for the first time. Lyra walked with grace, her purple eyes looking at everyone. She stopped, beside Olivia, their shoulders touching. The mind link flared bright for a moment, a blue light connecting them, honored leaders of Earth. Lyra spoke, her musical voice filling the room. I come before you now because time grows short. The void comes faster than we thought. They hunger for your world as they hungered for mine. President Alvarez studied the alien woman. What can you offer us now that scout ships are already entering our sun area? Lyra raised one 6-fingered hand. A tear formed at her finger, tip glowing with inner light. A choice, Madam President. She answered, the tears of my people can make human potential stronger. Create a bridge between our kinds. Make your resistance to void influence stronger. But it needs trust. It needs accepting. Change. The tear floated from her finger, hovering in the air before her. It grew bigger, becoming a ball of light. Inside it, pictures formed, human DNA spirals mixing with alien patterns. New structures forming. Better cells. Expanded brain paths. This is the true gift of the Sylvan people. Lyra continued, the reason I cried when I first set foot on Mars. The joy of finding humans still alive. When all visions showed you dead. The hope that together we might create something new. Something the void has never met. General Hayes stood, her hand moving toward her weapon. Is this your plan? Changing human genes. Ash spread his wings, growing larger, his scales shifting through impossible colors. His voice sounded in all their minds. Not changing, but growing. The void fears what humans might become. That is why they marked your world for destruction. They sensed your potential. President Alvarez raised her hand, stopping General Hayes. The security team stood down, though, stayed ready. You ask us to change. Ourselves, Alvarez said. To become something other than human. To trust that these changes help us, not harm us. Lyra shook her head. I ask you to reach your potential, Madam President. to access abilities sleeping within your own genetic code. The tears act as keys unlocking what already exists. Within every human lies the ability to see beyond normal senses, to connect across distance through thought, to adapt at rates. The void cannot predict. Dr. Morgan approached the light ball, studying the patterns within. The parts in the tears seem to activate regions of human DNA previously considered junk sequences, she explained with growing excitement. The alien woman walking toward me had tears in her eyes. Part 5, the first void ships entered the sun area 3 days after the World Council meeting. Their dark shapes could only be seen through the space windows Ash created. Olivia stood in the control room of Earth Defense Headquarters watching as the alien ships came near Mars' orbit. The SHIELD network was working 18 satellites carrying quantum machines made from Lyra's tears, creating a space barrier around Earth. The air now had tiny parts of tears waking sleeping powers in humans. Changes were happening faster than anyone thought. Around the world, millions of people had strange dreams, visions of far stars. Hospitals found patients with small body changes, better senses, improved, healing purple spots in human eyes. A faint blue glow under the skin when feelings ran high. Lyra stood next to Olivia. The alien woman was a common sight in the control room now. Her tall, pretty form making both wonder and worry from the human workers. Ash sat on her shoulder, bigger now. His wings could fill a room when spread. His scales changed through colors human eyes had never seen before. They search for us, Lyra said softly, watching the void ships through Ash's window. They can sense something, but the shield confuses them. They see Earth, but not as a living world general. Hayes walked to them, her face grim. The president wants more options. General. Not just hiding, Lyra turned to her. I understand your wish to fight, General Hayes, but normal. Weapons will not hurt void ships. Their hulls exist partly in other spaces. Your rockets, your energy guns would pass through them or be taken in. Olivia felt the mind bond with Lyra pulse with an idea. She looked at the alien woman, raising an eyebrow. There may be another way, Lyra said, answering Olivia's silent question. The tears have parts that can affect reality on the quantum level. If we could deliver them directly to a void ship, Doctor. Morgan, who had been watching the SHIELD network, joined them. Her wild red hair even more messy than usual from weeks with little sleep. Use the tears as weapons, she asked, understanding quickly. They break space, stability, that could force the void ships fully into our reality, make them weak to normal weapons. Lyra nodded. A delivery system would be needed, and the tears would need to be stronger, far beyond their natural state. Ash spread his wings, sending rainbow patterns across the control room walls. His voice sounded in their minds. I can create a path, a fold, in space that would allow delivery directly to the scout ships, but I cannot hold it for long. Such a direct connection. Risks showing our presence. Colonel Winters, who had been listening, quietly stepped forward. A small team. Then she suggested fast, and through this spacefold drop off the weapon, then fast out. Olivia stood straighter, feeling the plan forming between them through the mind network that now connected all who had touched Lyra's. Tears, I will lead the team, she said. It has to be someone connected to the mind network. Someone who can see the spaceships move through them. General Hayes frowned. You are not a special action soldier. Lieutenant. Olivia met her gaze. No, General. But I have something your soldiers don't. The bond with Lyra. The ability to see as she sees. To move through spaces that exist between spaces before Hayes could answer alarms, sounded through the control room. A worker called out from her screen, General. We have movement. The scout ships have changed direction. They are heading toward the SHIELD network, toward Earth. All eyes turned to the space window Ash kept open. The dark void ships moving faster. Their strange shapes seeming to bend the space around them. They sensed the SHIELD. Lyra said, her voice tight. With worry, the space changes have drawn their attention. They suspect. Hayes shouted orders to her staff. Defense positions, full alert. Tell the President. Dr. Morgan, get those machines to maximum output. Morgan ran to her screen, fingers moving fast. Over controls. The SHIELD network satellites adjusted their output. The space barrier grew stronger, but the void ships kept coming. We need to do this plan now, Olivia said. There is no time for talk. Hayes looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. Sharply, Colonel Winters get a special actions team. Lieutenant Bennett will lead with help from Lyra. Dr. Morgan. How fast can you make these tear weapons? Morgan looked to Lyra, who nodded. The made tears are already in production. General, the delivery system is the hard part. We need something that can spread them directly into the ship's air systems. The Russian military man stepped forward. We have test spray robots, designed for air sampling, small enough for secret placement. Good. Hayes approved. Make them available now. Winters, you have 1 hour to prepare your team as the control room burst into activity. Olivia moved to a quiet corner with Lyra and Ash. The mind bond between them grew stronger as they touched minds, sharing knowledge plans. Fears. The void ships are more advanced than I remembered, Lyra said. They have adapted since my world fell. Their space sensors are more sharp. Ash made a sound like far thunder. They hunt me. They sense a cosmic dragon. They know what that means. Olivia looked at her hands. The changes had sped up in recent days. Her skin now had a constant soft blue glow, her eyes more purple than brown. She could feel the thoughts of others around her, especially those who had touched the tears. The start of a group, mind not erasing. Being separate but making it better. Connection without loss of self. Will this work, she asked through their mind link. Will the tears really affect their ships? Lyra touched Olivia's face with one 6-fingered hand. The touch sending a wave of knowledge, memories, hope. The tears force reality to settle, Lyra explained. They collapse quantum superposition, make things exist in a single state. That is why they affect humans as they do. Waking potential, making it real. What exists as possibility becomes reality, and the void ships exist in multiple states, Olivia understood. So the tears would force them into a single space state, make them weak. Exactly. Ash confirmed. Void technology relies on space uncertainty, on existing in multiple states at once. Force them into a single reality and they become killable. Olivia finished. The preparation moved with military speed. The Russian robots changed to carry strong tier parts. A team of 12 soldiers picked, all showing the early signs of change. Purple eyes, blue glow. Better sensing. Ash would create a spacefold, a short tunnel between Earth and the lead void scout ship. Olivia would guide the team through, using her mind connection with Lyra to find the way the robots would be put into the ship's air systems. Releasing the parts, the team would leave immediately. President Alvarez spoke to them through secure talk, her face serious on the screen. This mission has the highest priority, Lieutenant Bennett. The future of Earth depends on its success. If we can disable even one void ship, prove they are weak, it could change everything. Olivia stood at attention. I understand, Madam President. We will not fail, as the team made final preparations. Lyra came to Olivia, her face troubled. There is something you should know, she said softly. Something I have not shared. Olivia waited, sensing the importance of what was to come. The tears, the transformation. It cannot be reversed. Olivia, once begun the process, continues. You and all who have been exposed, you are becoming something new, neither human nor Sylvan, but a mix. The first of a new kind. Olivia took in this information, feeling strangely calm. I thought so. The changes have been speeding up. Lyra nodded. The tier parts rewrite DNA on a basic level. Waking potential that has always existed in humans but sleeping. Those exposed will live longer, see more, experience reality differently. The void fears this transformation above all else. It is why they hunt my kind to the end, why they targeted Earth. They fear what we might become. Lyra touched Olivia's hand. Their minds joining deeper than ever before, yes. In all the futures my people saw before our fall, there was one where humans and Sylvans joined, becoming something greater, something that could stand against the void. That is the true reason I sought Earth. That is why I wept when I found you alive. Not just relief but joy at finding the other half of what might save all worlds. Colonel Winters came over, breaking the moment. The team is ready, Lieutenant. Your ship leaves in 5 minutes. Olivia nodded, then turned back to Lyra. One last question. Why me? Why did you walk to me specifically on Mars, Lyra? Smiled, a tear forming at the corner of her eye, glowing with inner light, because in all possible futures you were the bridge, Olivia. The one whose mind could join with mine, whose heart could understand, whose spirit could lead. The catalyst for everything that follows. The tear fell, landing on Olivia's hand, absorbing into her skin. A final gift, a final connection. The last piece of transformation. The mission launched within the hour. A sleek, hidden ship carrying the team and the changed robots. Ash flew alongside his form, now massive, his wings spanning 50 feet, his scales blazing with colors that broke description. He created the spacefold as promised, a tunnel through reality itself, connecting Earth to the lead void. Scout ship, Olivia, led her team through the fold. The passage was strange reality bending, around them colors that had no names, shapes that should not exist. She kept her mind linked with Lyra's, using the Sylvans, seeing to find the way where human senses could not understand. The soldiers followed, their eyes wide with wonder and fear. They came out inside the void scout ship. The inside was nightmarish, a mix of technology and biology, surfaces that moved like living flesh, halls that seemed to breathe. Lights that watched with mind. The air could be breathed but felt wrong somehow. Too thick, too alive. The team moved with practiced skill, placing the robots as planned. Olivia finding the way through mind connection with Lyra. The void had not yet